Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Bev.
Hello
Hello, hello again.
again.
Oh, hi. Like the first time we've seen each other this side.
Exactly. Hasn't even been a minute. That's how much we like each other.
Yes. You mentioned something in the last video that I kind of wanted to hit up on, I thought might be important. And you said something about when you have an idea and you share it with other people, they may not have the same level of excitement as you do. We're kind of moving through this right now with some family stuff. Um, and a big announcement for a person in our life, in our family, calling everybody to tell them their news. And probably on her receiving end, not receiving the level of excitement that she would probably like to have. And I will also share with in the same respect. So we you and I know that the universe brings us gifts in so many ways. And I talk a lot about, like, I find pennies and dimes and quarters. And all the time I think either dimes to me is, uh, somebody in spirit that is connecting with me. Hey, I'm with you. Also, the coins representing abundance. So no matter the case, I will always say thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for showing the abundance in my life. I want more of this, please. Um, and the other day, I put on a pair of pants. Now, when you're finding dimes and quarters and pennies, yeah, okay, right? It's just like frequently, and I love it, and I appreciate it, and I cherish it. But but when you put on a pair of pants, you find a $5 bill in your pocket. Yeah, I got excited. Like, oh my gosh, I got $5, right? I was excited. I went to work. I'm like, guess what I did this morning? I said, tell my story. Oh, oh, that's cool. And in me, I'm like, but you don't understand what this means.
Missing the magic.
Yes. Yes.
And when you say that, what I feel like is the person feels like don't get excited about things. It just reminds me of how I used to be, not getting excited about things, not seeing the magic in everything that's around us because there's magic in all the stuff. And that was exciting. That's to me, that's exciting. That's pretty thrilling. I get excited about stuff like that. There's been a few times I've stuck my hand in my pocket and then found something. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't know I even had any cash or anything like that. So it's that's fun.
And it wasn't because I typically will put it in money. If I put it in my pockets on a specific side, and this was on the opposite side. So I'm like, y'all playing with me. This is so cool.
That's awesome. And also 5 represents change.
Yep, absolutely. And there's a lot of that happening right now. So
Exactly. And then so for me, my change might show up as the peregrine falcon, or that it lets me know, like, brace yourself that there's something that's about to shift, because we're looking for the messages all the time. We're looking for the magic because the magic's always been there. The miracles have always been there. But are we allowing ourselves to experience that? And I would say for me, for the longest time, I was not allowing myself to experience that. If I got excited about it, then, then you're always waiting for the shoe to drop, the other shoe to drop, or, those kind of feelings, the rug being pulled out from under you. And I don't feel that way anymore because I'm not pulling the rug out from under me anymore. You know what I mean? So now I'm looking at the stuff like, okay, we're going through some change. This is going to be exciting, right? Right, team? Are we
right.
going in an exciting direction? Are we going to find fun in all this stuff? Because that's the important, and that is exciting. But it is also, when you say that, it's when we were talking about in the last video, it is sometimes it's just who we share it with. And sometimes you could share the same thing with me, and I might be like, oh yeah, that's cool. And it's like, wait a minute, because I'm not saying that the other person was right or wrong or anything like that, but sometimes I'm in that space too.
Yeah.
I'm in my own stuff.
And as you're talking, is like, that was a gift for me. And
Yeah,
it was for me to celebrate and relish in it and embrace it and know what it meant to me.
yeah,
And other people don't have that level of excitement for something as simple as a $5 bill.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand what I'm associating it to within myself and my belief system and what I practice. And they just see it as, they probably thought that their thought process could be, oh, well, you wore those pants before and you put a $5 bill in it.
Yeah. The logic's right. Go back into
Yeah.
the mind, and it's actually expanding and going further than that.
And it's like, okay, yeah, could have. And we also know things manifest. And so I want to be on the playful end.
Yeah. I like it. I like the more playful end, believe
Now,
me.
I will tell you, I will intentionally, I have done this. I will intentionally leave money in my coat pockets. I do that, and I know I do that because when you know a season's over, I don't think about it. And then when you go to put on a jacket or coat the next time it gets cold, and you put your hand in your pocket, you're like, oh look, and it's just fun to be like, oh, I got money. But this was different. This was different because
Yeah.
I check my pockets before I take my pants off. That is a
Nice.
habit for me because I put chapstick in my pocket. I put stones in my pocket. Like I put things in my pockets. I love pants with pockets. So I check them. So
That's
in my
fun.
playful world, the universe sent me a gift and I receive it 1,000% because it was so fun.
Yeah. And I even like that you're putting money in your jackets. It's almost giving your future self a gift. I mean, it
Yeah.
really is.
Dude, I'm
It's
gonna
like,
start
oh,
putting $100 bills in it.
yeah, yeah. That's fun. To me, that's just being more playful with it and and also reminding your future self how abundant they are. Look at how abundant we are. That's awesome. I
I
like it.
just had a thought. I should hide 100 or put $100 bills in my husband's coat pockets and stuff. So when he goes to put them on this winter, that would be fun. He'd be
That'd
like,
be awesome. Yeah.
and I guarantee he'd probably never tell me. Like,
Which would be perfectly fine. And
yeah,
then until we look back to look at the videos later on, they'd be like, wait a minute.
yeah, yeah.
I was set up. No, that was the angels. And it was an angel, an earth angel.
That sounds like something fun to do. I think I might do that.
That does sound fun. I like it.
But being playful and enjoying these moments like that is so worth it. Now, I will share this, which is interesting because in the bathroom at work, it's a multi-stalled bathroom. And there was a time just recently where I looked down like next to the toilet. Now we keep a fairly clean facility. I really love our work environment. Um, and so sometimes, not always, but sometimes, most of the time, I will, if there's remnants of paper on the floor, I'll pick it up. But anyway, there was this piece of toilet paper. It was clean. It looked like it was just dropped. But I saw it, and so I finished my business. And when I bent down to pick it up, behind the toilet on the floor was a quarter. Okay, now you can't make this stuff up, right? So that was a little bit back. Well, just recently, within the last 30 days, same thing. Doing my business, look down, there's paper. I'm like, geez. So when I bent down to pick it up, I kind of looked and there was cash on the floor, like kind of in the next stall. And nobody was in the bathroom.
Nice.
And when I looked at it, was like $22. Now, the level of excitement about the $5 bill that was in my pants pocket, I was very joyful. That just happened just the other day. But the $22, can you guess what my thought process was about that?
Well, I would assume that you added up the 22 to a 4, but 22, no, not even at
None of
all.
that. It was, oh, somebody lost this. I bet it fell out of somebody's pocket. I bet this might have meant a lot to them.
Yeah.
Right. And then the guilt. I found this, but it's not mine. And, but you think I feel like a quarter behind the toilet in a public bathroom? No. You think a dime in the parking lot? No. But $22 was a whole nother level.
And
So
to me, that's the message.
yeah. And so I let people know in the building, hey, I found this cash. And if somebody says they lost it, I didn't say the amount. I said I found some cash in the bathroom. Nothing was ever said, but it was like well, like a guilty feeling that I found this, and if I keep it, is that right? It was a different mindset because of the amount.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, what if the universe gave me a gift similar to the $5 came afterwards? $5 in my pants part came afterwards. But the universe provides us gifts and then we question it, or the worthiness, we question our worthiness of receiving it. Is quite interesting, the process I went through with that.
Nice. It's good though. See, that's just another way, going back to the last video, that's another way of how it shows up, and it's more subtle. And we can still learn lessons from all that. There's still so much to gain from just that little, that, I mean, really, it's nothing. Not this day and age. $22, maybe
Yeah,
a long time ago would have been something, but and it's just, it's nice to recognize those things. Just like when we talked about before, or we've heard before, if you want to manifest something, don't manifest something so big that you can't even believe it,
yeah,
because then you'll automatically pick up, you'll find ways to negate it, to stop the flow of it. And so that's just another
yeah.
interesting process to notice, that how we can stop the flow of it by those thoughts.
But if somebody, I'm better at this. If we go to lunch and the other person buys, I'm okay with saying thank you.
Yeah.
Whereas before, my old behavior would be, I was super guilty. Now I gotta pay him back somehow. And usually it's okay, well, next time I'll buy lunch, or I'll tell let's go to coffee, I'll buy, or something. Like right away we start processing how we can repay them. But it's okay to say thank you and not feel like you owe them anything in return.
Yeah. And that's been something I've been learning too, because like I talked about before, going through some of the stuff going on as a child, it makes you feel like everybody wants something from you, so that you are obligated. So when
Yeah,
somebody does something nice for you, now you feel like you have to do something nice for them, or vice versa. And for me, as we're talking, I can go all the way back to that time frame. And I know, I have a feeling, or that knowing inside of me, that that's where some of the stuff comes from. And so, see, it can be something so subtle like this, to be able to process and let go of it, and then it can be heavy too. But this is the end. This is the opposite side of all the heaviness. So now I can still process. I'm still going to be processing stuff. I just don't have to have the emotional attachment that I had to it before,
yeah,
which is huge.
yeah. And it's just interesting how we store these things, these belief systems, these mindsets in our body, that um how we process guilt. And well, if I keep it, now I feel ashamed because it's somebody else's and I don't have the right to keep it because it's not mine. And we were taught that as a kid, right? It's not yours. So if I take that money and not tell anybody, that's my choice. I took the money, but I told people I found it. And if anybody says anything, which felt good to me. And here we are, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, and nothing. So I'm just like, well, it's mine now. But
Yeah.
or I take it and I put it in an envelope and I put found in bathroom on a date, and it sits there. I give it to somebody, like maybe I give it to the receptionist. Say, hey, who's to say she doesn't take that? And nope, nobody ever claimed it. Right?
Yeah.
There's so many scenarios that could happen with this, but the idea of how am I processing it and what am I doing with that information? Good, bad, right, wrong. It's for each individual person to decide.
Yeah.
And
And how does
people
that feel?
and people could listen to this and judge me for keeping the money. And that's okay. But understanding not everything, but a lot of things that I process in finding that amount of money. Whereas in the same vicinity, not too long before that, I found a quarter and was fine with picking up a quarter, cleaning it off. I washed it, but cleaning it off and putting it in my pocket. I was like, thank you, universe, for that. But when it was over $20, what do I do with this?
I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome. From my perspective, the way that I felt how everything was, it felt good. It felt honest, really, all of it did. And it's like if someone else perceives it in any other way, well, like you said before, it's really on them, but it's an opportunity because it's triggering them for something inside of them that doesn't, it's from their programming. It has nothing, it doesn't mean anything's right or wrong. It's just old programming. That's all
Yeah.
that it is. Even, I mean, you're talking about all this stuff, and it's like I even wrote on my list, release guilt. It'll be one of the things I'll burn today. It's releasing, it's just letting go of those things. It's like it releasing, I don't, there's no, why have it? Because it just keeps you in a space of no growth as far as I'm concerned. In that moment, it just keeps you into a space of victim. So when you were talking about that, I have a client that's also family member, basically, that the week before last, um, I sent a message like, "Hey, you on your way?" Because it was like 1:02. It was whatever, a couple minutes after their appointment time to be there. Yeah, I'm on my way, and then they show up 15 minutes later. Okay, for me, it was honoring my time. So this past week, the same thing happened again. I didn't send a message. The person didn't show up, so the person doesn't get seen that whole week. And then what happened? I started feeling guilty. Well, what if they forgot? What if I didn't do something? I started looking at all the things for me, and it's like, no. My initial response was, my time matters. My time matters. It's not equated by the dollar because my time's more valuable than a dollar can ever possibly be. And it's not okay for me to sit in a space with all, so then I go through the guilt. So I'm releasing that guilt. So what did I do? I sent a message yesterday. So now that this person has the next date in their phone with my message and they can show up or not show up, I'm not reminding. I don't feel that it's my job to remind people for their appointments. They can show up or don't show up, and that's their opportunity. But I will tell you on the other side that I'm recognizing that there's been more of my regulars that aren't showing up for their appointments. And it's the universe's way of letting me know this is not my path anymore. It's not. And it's not to take it personal because it's not personal, because everybody has life stuff going on. And also to recognize that there's not a resonance. So there wouldn't have been a resonance on those days. And so I could get pissed off and try to force the issue and get, and then it doesn't do any good. And because I did notice that I had done that in the last few months. I had a few people, regulars I've been seeing for years, just not show up for their appointment. Why was I upset? Because I had an attachment to an outcome. I knew that there was a certain dollar figure that was coming in for that time spot. And now I don't have enough time to fill that spot again. And so because of all that, I've even released the way I was not allowing abundance and stuff to come into my experience. To where recently I'm actually applying for grants and stuff now. Um, and it was so crazy because I sat down and I start typing this stuff out, and it's like I don't even know where this information's coming from. I didn't know what I wanted to do next, and now I know it is to be that guide. It is to be that guide for children and for adults. Because when we say when if I say that I'm working with children, I'm working with your inner child. Because everybody has that child that still has that old programming that they don't recognize, and we have so many different tools to share with people. So it's like I can see where the universe is pulling me. I even have my life purpose cards, pulled cards. The first thing that comes out is you're going to be working with children, and I understand that. I understand that to a point. My point being, now that my grandkids are getting a little bit bigger, they're coming out and they're getting a little bit bored with stuff because they're not that little kid anymore. And I know how to be with that little kid. I know how to play like that. And now I'm having to learn how do you be with an 8 or 9 year old? How do you be with them and have experiences and do fun things? And so now it's looking a little bit different. It's looking like, okay, well, then my grandson's riding on my lap and we're driving around and picking up all kinds of big rocks and throw them in the back of my truck and then bring them back. And then he's out there hustling to make sure that he does it all to line my path. So he's doing it all by himself to do these things. And it's because they like doing things. And so now I'm having to learn new stuff because I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with a kid. Remember a long time ago, you were talking about like being around these individuals at certain ages. And it's like, if you're not in that space all the time, you wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do with those ages, with older ages. I have no clue because I haven't been in that experience. I couldn't be with anybody at that age. I didn't have the tools for myself, and nobody had the tools for me at that time. So I'm gaining this stuff, and it's remembering to just go from the space of love. It's from that heart, because the heart's going to guide. And so when I get into a space and I'm not sure what to do, I'm having to go into the heart, and also recognizing being exhausted. We've talked about that, and it's like honoring ourselves. If you listen to a lot of stuff, they say it's ascension symptoms. They say all these other things. Lots of people are going through, but like just feeling like exhausted for no reason, which put me into a space of, I thought was great. I started a fast the night. Well, I'm on like 36 hours right now. So it's like going on a fast I'll do it for 72 hours of just drinking. I just drink water, and I'll have a couple of codfish liver oil or codfish oil. And so that's it. So it's like, it's just going through this whole process, which is clearing out the body, and it's just cleansing. So it's like, it goes along with everything that I've been doing. Not only do we purge, and I jumped again, but not only are we purging, like I'm writing letters and purging that way, and crying and sneezing and coughing and yawning. My God, I must have yawned 1,000 times during two people the other day. Like I was at the point where I feel like I could probably pass out while I'm doing this massage. And I wasn't fasting then, but this is just another form of just like releasing stuff that no longer serves. It doesn't serve my body. I'm giving my body the opportunity of new. Everything is new. And as I'm stepping into, everything's new. So with back to the grandkids, it's all new, and it's learning. We don't know where we're going, and that's what gets scary sometimes, because it's all unfamiliar. It's the, wait a minute, I don't have any programming for this. I don't know what am I supposed to do with it? I'm a toddler right now. So sometimes I'm probably going to make mistakes in somebody else's life, but that's the way that I learn. And that's how I evolve and find new tools and different ways of reaching our youth, our children, and our children within.
Love it. So learning to process events and gifts, just allowing the process of moving through those stages or sensations of feeling guilty, learning to receive in the different ways without feeling guilty, doing self-care, and like Bev's time is valuable to her, as is mine, and holding people accountable for their own responsibilities without me or her or anybody else feeling guilty about it. So take some time. If you are a person who is influenced by feeling guilty about things, that's a pattern. It really takes some time to look at that and process it and see if you can get a different perspective about it. So again, we're a big fan. Bev and I are big fans of pen and paper, and just start writing things out. Write out what contributes to you feeling guilty. Write out the belief systems, or where were you taught on feeling guilty about things, and start changing that. Change your mindset about it, because that could be one of the biggest things that will keep you stuck, is feeling guilty about receiving gifts along the way, or standing up for yourself and feeling guilty about it. And a lot of times that guilt is associated to not feeling worthy or deserving of good things, or feeling important. So just take some time. Bev and I have these conversations. They help us. And so we share them out there into the ethers, and whoever sees it, hears it. We hope it's beneficial for you. If it is, be sure to share what you're learning. Other people want to hear it. and be resourceful. You can share our content or any other speakers, teachers, influencers with their podcasts or books or whatever it is you like. So you can find us on many platforms. We're on Facebook, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addict, Spotify, and Spreaker. So we're out there. Any final words?
Take time for yourself,
Yeah,
because no one else is going to do it for you.
that's right. And don't feel guilty about it.
Exactly. That's
All right,
right.
friends. Thanks for hanging out with us. Tea Time with Amy and Bev. We'll see you next time.
Bye.